So, why is the issue of water such a critical problem to address in Abilene?
Well, I used to say it this way. I saw a billboard over in Fort Worth one day, and it had a huge billboard that had a picture of a water faucet with water coming out of it, and it said, "Water, try living without it." And I cannot tell you what a big impression that made on me, because think of it this way. Every city that's the size of Abilene can't be the size of Abilene if they don't have water. So when you think just out here in West Texas alone, you got Abilene, Midland, San Angelo, Lubbock, Amarillo. The reason all of those places are as big as they are is because they have water. Otherwise, you can have a town with 2,000 people and have groundwater and take care of everybody. But if you're going to have 120 or 150 or 250,000 like Lubbock, then you're going to have access to a lot of water for that many people to live. So water is what drives the growth of your town. It drives agriculture. It drives manufacturing. Just as an example, one of the biggest users of water in Abilene, Texas, is Coca-Cola. And the Coca-Cola plant that's out there, just when you leave ACU and you go out to Chili's
Yes.
and Jason's Deli, you know where that is?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Just past there is the Coca-Cola bottling company. Well, they use our good Abilene water to make all of that Coca-Cola product that they have there. So we couldn't have the Coca-Cola plant here if we didn't have adequate water supplies and to help them out. So water is just the foundation of everything. You can live without having a zoo, and a lot of communities do. You could, a lot of communities don't have airports. A lot of communities have one little small library. But there's one thing you can't live without, and that's water. So without water, you're not going to grow. And without water, people are going to think, I can't stay here. What if they run out of water? So I'm going to go where they do have water. So water is going to be like the new oil. It's going to be the haves and the have-nots. And right now, I always remind people this, in foreign countries all over the world, they're fighting battles over water. And because they know that without it, they're going to dry up and die.
In what ways have you worked to improve Abilene's water usage during your 3 terms as mayor?
Okay, so you'll know in sometime in the 2000s. Oh gosh, I can't even remember now which year it was. And I want to say it was maybe 2003, 2004, or 5. We adopted a year-round water conservation program, which means we aren't going to say, if we got plenty of water, use all you want. We have determined, like right now, not all of our lakes are full. Fort Phantom is full. Ivy is only 12% full, and Hubbard is 46% full. So, when you think about it, what you end up having is we only let people water 1 day a week, even though Fort Phantom is full, because we don't want people wasting water. And the other side is when we adopted the year-round water conservation program, we could be watering more, but because Ivy is only 12%, we don't need to be saying we have plenty of water, because we really don't. We have adequate water, but we don't have plenty of water. The other thing I was going to say was, one of the things that we've been doing it for right at 1 year now is that we went in and did a wastewater treatment. We spent $90 million, and we took the water that comes out of our wastewater treatment plant, and we re-purify it and re-treat it to the highest quality, and then we put it back into Fort Phantom Lake, and then we blend it with all the water out there, and then we treat it all over again. So what that's doing is giving us 7 million gallons a day of water that we already had, and water that gives us a chance to, have 7 million. That's about a third of all of the water that we use every day. We use about 21 million gallons a day on average year round. And to show you how we've changed things, the all-time record water use in one day back in probably the 90s, we used 48 million gallons in one day. That's unbelievable compared to what we do today. Today, on a hot summer day, we would be lucky to use 29 or 30. Then we used 48 in one day. We've kind of gotten away from people thinking they have to water their yard 3 times a week. And that's been a big, big thing. We've worked with a lot of landscapers to give advice on how do we go about convincing people not to, overwater their yards, etc.
What have been some of the hardest obstacles to overcome while trying to implement these new water initiatives or programs?
Number one is going through the government process to get the permits. We've been waiting for about 4 years to get these permits. And we realize that the state of Texas is trying to solve some other permits first, but we need to get this permit done, but it's just taking a long time to work through the state of Texas. Once we did get that, then we're going to be able to have an opportunity to get that permit from the Corps of Engineers to build the dam, and that's when the EPA and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife all come into play to make sure that we're not disturbing the environment, or there's not a spotted owl or a snail darter or something that's endangered species.
Moving forward, what are your next steps on the road to improving Abilene's water conditions?
Well, in the last 18 months, the city of Abilene has spent $204 million on short-term water solutions that make sure that we have adequate water. And I'm kind of proud of those things because that's what kept us from running out of water when we thought maybe it could. But we've spent a lot of money on doing that, but we're in good shape for the future because we've got water from Lake Ivy, Lake Fort Phantom, Lake Hubbard, now Possum Kingdom, and with the treatment plant that we're filtering that water and putting it back into Phantom, we're getting an average $7 million a day just from that project. So, with that in mind, we've done a whole lot of things to help plan our future.
In what ways can citizens join the fight for water conservation in Abilene?
Number one, they can quit wasting water. In other words, don't let water run down. Don't water your yard. We have an ordinance. You can't water your yard in the heat of the afternoon from 10 o'clock until 6 o'clock. Because if you're watering your yard and it's 100 degrees outside, most of that water is being evaporated. It never hits the ground.
Right.
And so we try to make sure that people don't waste water by watering at the wrong times of the day when it's hot. Number one, they don't let water just run down the curb because when it gets to the curb, it's not doing anything. We try to make people aware that they can water 1 time a week. So we've done a lot of education with people, and I must tell you, a lot of people have bought into we need to conserve water. And I'm glad that young people like you are taking college classes in environmental sciences because that's teaching you a lot of things that maybe you didn't know about water.
So just as a last wrap-up question, what is your ultimate goal for Abilene's water systems?
I would love to know that someday when I'm not the mayor of Abilene anymore, that people would say, Norm Archibald worked hard on water supplies for the future. As a matter of fact, I tell people all the time, one of the best things that ever happened to me is I have 2 grandsons, ages 6 and 9, that live in Abilene, and every time I think about water, I can think about those 2 boys. And the question is, will they have water in the future long after I'm gone? And so I think, we're all drinking out of wells that we didn't dig. In other words, when someone decided a long time ago in the 40s to build Lake Fort Phantom, they were helping Abilene out more than they ever knew. And those people have maybe been dead for 50 years, but look where would we be if we didn't have those people that helped get water supplies for us. So it's all about the future. It's all about the future of Abilene.
Well, great. Thank you so much for speaking with us today and taking time out of your busy schedule to talk about water conservation.
Cook that I said hello and tell him, and the mayor said that you two girls did an excellent job.
We'll put that in our presentation for sure.
Put that in your report that the mayor said that these two girls did an excellent job with their questions.
Thank you so much for talking to us. We really appreciate it.